Welcome back one and all, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity, the Triple Crown run where we left off last time. We are just heading back to Caed Nua. We actually just entered the keep itself, and it is time to go figure out what's going on with our kingdom. Something's happening here. Whistling in the reeds! In the Examitil Plains, Zashin Lake is renowned for the beautiful flowers that grow along its banks for several weeks each spring. Local farmers harvest the flowers for a spring festival in all of the nearby villages. In the past 3 years, 4 people have gone missing during the flower collections. No one has seen the abductions take place, but people in the area have reported hearing a high-pitched whistle from within the tall reeds. When the abductees are discovered days later, on the shore of the lake, they appear to be happy and smiling but unaware of the world around them. The blissful victims never recover from this state, most dying within a few weeks. The philosophers at the monastery near Zashin Lake have advised the local rulers to seek outside help with the problem. After several more abductions took place at Zashin Lake, Lorne discovered that a previously unknown beast was behind the attacks. A strange red ruby beetle would grab the locals and feed on their worst memories. Though the victims would initially fight back, they would quickly enter a blissful state and drop their resistance. Unfortunately, the beetle would eventually devour all of their memories, leaving their minds vacant and broken off from the world. Lorne was able to track the beetle to its nest and kill it. The locals were relieved to hear the beetle had been killed, but dismayed to learn the hatched eggs were discovered in the nest. As a parting gift, the philosopher from Jashin Monastery created a wand for Lorne from one of the beautiful red reeds that grows along the lake. It is a red reed wand, which is accurate. Grants, my son, do you see your sisters running across the moor? Only 6 charges. Nature's Terror, only 6 charges as well. So it's going to be sold, pretty much. So that's pretty cool. Baralt, an Adiran dignitary, has arrived here. He requests our aid in an upcoming meeting with the representatives of the Fisher Crane tribe near Thin Bog. Well, we might as well deal with you first then. Greetings, Lord Set. My name is Baralt. If you have the time, I have an urgent matter I'd like to discuss. Let's do it. Talk to me, weirdly clothed man. I have been tasked with meeting the representatives from the Fisher Crane tribe near Thane Bog. It is my hope to come to peaceful terms. Unfortunately, I haven't had much practice with the Glenfathan language, and the Fisher Crane are, by nature, very reclusive. I fear that the circumstances are ripe for a misunderstanding. You yourself, I hear, have had some dealings with the Glenfathans. I would welcome your assistance or advice, or any advice you may offer. I'll have someone escort you. Oh, with whom shall I be traveling? Sagani. Her experience as a hunter and traveler should serve you both well. Thank you, my lord. We'll set out right away. And we got a level for that. Boom. 200 experience, leveled up. Let's take a look. Let's grab some more survival? No. Let's just grab some athletics. We're going to need some, just a little bit. Now, what do we want? We kind of want hold the line is good. Graceful retreat we don't need. Maybe one of these. Probably snake's reef. Do we have anything that gives deflection actually? No. Hold the line, not so good. Reflex, fortitude, or will. Probably reflex, because I think we go up against a lot of reflex rolls against the dragon, if I can recall correctly. So we got a little bit more defenses. That puts us, our reflexes are at 142, so we should be way more than enough. We actually probably should have gotten fortitude, but that's okay. Whatever. All good. It'll be fine. Let's talk to Marshal Forwin, Lord Set. I've received word that Lord Gathbin is amassing an army of mercenaries near Yenwood Field. It appears a peaceful claim to Caed Nua is no longer possible. The Earl has sent me to aid you in forming your own force to counter this threat. I am here in an advisory role only, of course. The Earl won't officially take sides in this dispute. I have a fortress with strong walls. Why not let Gathman's army come to me? Lord Gathman isn't fool enough to risk tearing down Caed Nua just to kill you, and if you shield yourself behind these walls, he'll have free rein to torment your subjects in the countryside. Earl Baedmar will see your inaction against Lord Gathman as a sign that you're unwilling to perform your duties as Lord of Caed Nua. Losing his support will have dire consequences. Taking the fight to Lord Gathman is your only option. Well, let's talk about my army. The Marshal nods. Where am I getting my troops? We've sent out a call for volunteers from the lands around Caed Nua. Hopefully people will recognize that being under your rule is preferable to that of Lord Gathbin's. Any hireling stationed at Caed Nua will also accompany you in battle, so I suggest you acquire as many of them as possible. I've received a missive from the Knights of the Crucible. They've heard about the situation and will send a squad of their finest knights when the time for battle comes. What about my regular troops? Too green, too few. If you go up against Lord Gathbin now, losses will be heavy. However, victory is still possible. What special allies do I have? The Knights of the Crucible. We need to recruit veterans. I know a company or two of veterans that will be willing to join us for a bit of coin, say 10,000 coppers. Do it. His eyes widen. It will be done. That's all for now, then. Why won't the Earl officially legitimize my claim? It's a delicate situation. Legally, Lord Gathbin's claim is just, and he knows it. Stripping land and title from a noble family is quite dangerous, perhaps more so than killing the man outright. With Gathbin dead, the Earl only need worry about blood vengeance from a few family members that actually cared for Lord Gathbin. Those, if court gossip is to be believed, are few and far between. Losing a family, a claim to land and title, though, such disputes incite hatred from the entire clan and their political allies, not to mention the uneasy causes amongst other nobles. Wars are started for less. No, if Gathbin is to be denied, it will be you who must prove your legitimacy to the Earl, and all others who would dispute your claims. This is what it means to be a noble in the Deerwood. How much time do I got? Enough. It's rumored Lord Gathbin will suffer a series of unfortunate and completely unforeseen setbacks before his army is complete. Still, I'd not tarry long, he says while grinning and winking. Well, it's time. Let's just go. Excellent. Morale is high and the troops are eager to follow you to glory. Are you certain you wish to march? Yeah, let's do this. As you command, I'll march the army to Yenwood Field. Will you be accompanying us? Yeah, let's go. Right now. It's go time. We'll fight a battle. It's all good. We'll kill Lord Gathbin, the shitlord. As you crest a small hill overlooking Yenwood Field, Lord Gathbin's army is a flurry of activity scurrying to and fro. Even from this distance you hear the drums of war, beating their steady cadence, designed to intimidate their foes while organizing their rank and file into battle formations. Marshal Forwin approaches. You've arrived just in time. Lord Gathbin's forces are beginning to move. An attack is imminent. Inspect my own forces. Local militia constitutes the majority of your army, but veteran soldiers have organized their ranks and walk among the young, unseasoned warriors, offering advice or the occasional joke. They cheer, striking sword to shield as you pass, in thunderous approval of their lord. Among the troops, a small group of warriors shines brighter than all the others, Crucible Knights, standing tall in gleaming plate and armor. Armed with spear and shield, they stand at attention, spear centered, as you pass. Any idea what he's planning? Marshal Forwin strokes his chin. His ultimate objective is to face you in battle and to be seen defeating you. I doubt he's foolish enough to challenge you in single combat, of course. Sound the horde. Let's do this. Marshal Forwin begins barking orders and your troops quickly form up. Gathbin's army follows suit as the deer and war drums echo across the field. Within moments, the marshal raises a brass horn and the visage of a mighty boar to his lips. He looks at you expectantly. Raise my weapon at the top of above my head and scream at the top of my lungs. Your troops bellow across the field, pounding weapon to shield as the marshal's horn sounds. Dozens of bowstrings twang in unison behind you as your archers unleash a hail of arrows at Gathbin's army. The missiles hiss through the air with deadly accuracy, felling scores of enemies. In a bold move, Gathbin points his sword towards your position, giving an unheard order. His infantry, shields raised, charge the field. Your own infantry charges headlong into the enemy infantry in the center of the field. The cacophonous sound of metal on metal is nearly deafening as the two forces collide. The fighting is fierce and the screams of dying numerous. Led by veteran warriors rallied to your cause, the troops fight valiantly and appear to be holding their ground. The battle thus far appears to be a stalemate. Then a group of Adir and battle mages emerges from behind enemy lines. They begin weaving their hands in unison with practiced precision. Suddenly, waves of arcane fire erupt among your troops. The acrid smell and smoke of burning flesh is nearly overwhelming. From the left flank, a unit of Rao-Tai berserkers clad in plate armor and wielding great swords begins to collapse the left side of the line. The ground is thick with the dead as they press their advantage. Meanwhile, Bleakwalker paladins dressed in dark armor, carrying sword and shield, stride back and forth behind Gathbin's lines, rallying his warriors and exhorting them to fight harder. As the battle rages, Marshal Forwin looks to you for orders. We need to deal with those battle mages. What's your plan, sir? Send in the Crucible Knights. The Knights lock shields and drive forward in a wedge formation through the enemy lines. The formation allows them to penetrate the line quickly, but leads to heavy losses. As they reach the battle mages, the formation falls apart. The battle mages cease their magical attack against your lines as the remaining knights put them to the sword, but you fear the maneuver has sealed a grisly fate for the last of the knights. The Bleakwalkers must die. We have no allies available to throw against him. Our only hope is to break through Gathman's line and kill him. Alright, well, everyone on me, charge! As the remainder of your forces charge, a horn sounds in the distance. A new contingent of warriors crests the nearby hill as Gathman's reinforcements charge headlong into the fray. His other troops cheer triumphantly. The new arrivals quickly join Gathman's forces on the field. As the battle rages, your forces fight valiantly, pressing ever forward. Casualties on both sides are high, and victory remains elusive for either side. Set! Lord Gathman strides through the carnage, his elite guard accompanying him. We both knew it must come to this. Come now. It's time I put you down like the dog you are. Point at Gathman, then make a throat-slicing gesture. Okay, so we clearly have big forces here. We have some Caed Nua skirmishers on our side. We got mercenary mine striker. We should have all of our people actually. Where are they? We have a couple Crucible Knights, a Justiciar, skirmishers. Where's all our other dudes? We only have the one mind guy left. The other ones I guess could be dead on the ground. Alright, we're pushing in. Let's shoot at the Adirian mercenaries. Let's try and knock a few of them down before we get any serious blows going here. With our Glenfaith and Soul Hunter apparently is charging forward. This whole area is basically enemy forces here, so good. This side is going to collapse soon. Bear. And all my archers, actually. That's Lord Gathman down there. We're going to leave Gathman alone for a sec here. Let's try and stun this group over here. Did not work out well. Okay. There is a Bleakwalker in our midst, kind of annoyingly. Now, what else do we got for spells? You two kill that one, you kill that. I'm actually gonna pull you off. Yeah. That battle mage group is nearly dead, which is good. That Beguiler is almost dead as well. Okay, so Lord Gathman's facing off against our wolf and our main guy. Our Crucible Knight is actually holding his own really well. The Rotai Berserker is kind of annoying me though. Let's help that out a little. I need Lord Yathman to die. What do we have left up here? One battle mage, one priest. Kill them.
Gotta try something else.
And let's get another batch of tentacles. Our second last batch. Our mage is actually doing just fine. And it looks like Lord Yathman's about to explode. Oh, archers. You have no idea what you just started. You should have run. You should have broken and run.
That one hit true.
This fight's over. We have officially won the fight, guys. That was actually really easy. A little bit of positioning, and it's all over. Lord Yathman lies dead before you, his army scattered. Bloodied and exhausted, your remaining troops look to you, swords raised, high in victory, chanting your name. Asharan Set, Asharan Set, Asharan Set. We collected some taxes, too. Holding the hem of his robe as he steps over several bodies, Chancellor Warren approaches you. Although his face is pale, he looks as if he'll be sick any moment. He forces a smile. Lord Asharan said, "While I'm grateful this dispute is finally over, it is regrettable so many lives were lost in the process. Gathbin should have just been reasonable from the start." He gags involuntarily as his silk boots brushes against his severed head. "In any event, as the legal arbiter of Earl Baedmar, I'm here to inform you that you have been declared a Thane of the Deerwood, and Caed Nua has been recognized as your domain. It shall forever be thus, and will pass down to any descendants you may have in the future. Of course, now that your claim has been upheld, you are expected to forward a small portion of any taxes you collect to your rightful lord, Earl Baedmar." I'll just nod. "Well then, if everything is in order," the Chancellor clears his throat. "It appears my work is done. Feel free to visit the palace if—" He steps in a pile of entrails with a wet squish as he turns to leave. "On second thought, I'll come to visit you. Yeah, perhaps in a year or 3. Lord Set, it's been an honor to serve you. I'll be making my way back to Garen's Grasp. The Earl has some urgent business for me there, unfortunately. Should you ever find yourself that far north, feel free to call on me. I'd love to trade ward stories with you, over a cup or two." He grasps your hand briefly in a firm grip, then turns on his heel. "Thank you, Marshal. You helped out quite a lot with the command of my troops. You're good people." The Adiran Bleakwalker, a war dog. Let's go loot all the bodies. Bunch of junk mostly. I'll let you know if we find anything cool. Look at that, we found something cool. The Gathbin family signet. It grants the Lord's authority once per stronghold turn, which is really kind of good actually, but it only is once per stronghold turn, which is kind of 5 might and 5 resolve though. Immunity to charmed and dominated. And plus 10 area of ability effect, which is kind of neat, but ultimately not the greatest of things. The belt is nice though. Damage reduction versus pierce and slashing is pretty good. Alright, let's loot the rest of the body. We have a few more battle mages and stuff to clear up. And then we're going to be out of here. So we are officially done with that storyline as well. Look at the battlefield. It's all mucky and war-torn. Lots of dead people. I'm willing to bet that we have to... Oh, we only lost one guy? Wow. I'm actually a little bit impressed. Our Crucible Knight survived. Our Mind Striker survived. Our Scald, Shockmage, and Soldier survived. I'm surprised any of those survived. They're not very good. Let's get a... I don't know, a Gold Pack Knight. Sure. Gold Pack Knights are pretty good. Now what do we have to do? I guess we're probably going to go... I don't know, not that one. Devil of Carrick, we're not going to do. Siege of Cragholt, not yet. Soon, but not yet. Grieving Mother, no. Master Below, no. Well, Master Below relatively soon, actually. Time and Tide. Durance, Fragments of a Scattered Faith. Forgotten Army. Right, that's the last things we need to do. Let's go do the aid of the gods, I guess. That's really our big thing to do right now, and we need some more levels, so may as well. We also have a couple dragons to kill. One's at the Temple of Helia. Let's go to Helm's Reach. Elm's Reach. Apparently I can't talk today. I had another crappy sleep last night. It's too hot. It's too hot at night. Also, there's a city in Alberta that is actually burning to the ground at the moment. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Maybe on Reddit, because it's all over Reddit. But Fort McMurray in Alberta is burning to the ground. It's pretty bad. I think it's Fort McMurray. Yeah. It's I think a couple of the neighborhoods or communities within the small city. It's a city of like 100,000 or 80,000 or something like that. But there are neighborhoods where like 90% of the houses are gone. It didn't, I don't think, spread to downtown Fort McMurray, but still kind of crazy. I haven't checked the updates lately, but I was watching them this afternoon, so let's go inside. Yeah, so there's just, yeah, a huge wildfire in northern Alberta, sort of, well, mid-Alberta, mid-north Alberta, whatever. But it's crazy, crazy huge. It's all burning to the ground. I'm going to read all the books later on, I think. I'll do a one lore video where I just sit down with a cup of port and read through all the books for you guys. There's the luminescent shard. We need to put it there so that we can actually see in here. And by see, I mean, you know, do all of the gods' things. Cool, huh? Let's talk to this one. Oh, I guess we can only talk to certain ones. So we have Galawain we can talk to. Abaddon is missing, obviously. Hylia is here. Barath is here. Andra, of course, but she can't be talked to either. And Rumergand. So let's go talk to Galawain first. Before this shrine sits the constellation of a snarling hound, fangs bared. Galawain it is. Right. We should read our books. That's actually kind of important in this particular case. There's a specific way you have to address the gods to get them to do what you want. Or to talk to you, at least. Not crafting. Where's our stash? Quest items. Maybe they're just in books. Got a cold, a cult, sermon struggle, book of the hunt. When my students ask to be taught the way of Gallowain, I tell them they have already failed. Does one ask a deer to present itself as dinner? Of course not. One must outwit, outmaneuver, and outpower the deer if one dreams of venison. So it is with the seeker god. To ask a question is a weakness and idle indecision. To seek answers is to understand and to become one with Gallowain. Survival begins with strength from within. But I only strike my students when they ask the second stupid question, for all of us begin young and weak. It is a point of fact, and not one of shame, and a central tenet to Gallowain's teachings. Perseverance and cleverness are prized by Gallowain above brute force, a fact my young pups often forget. It is right and proper that the strong leads the weak, and it is equally proper that the strong shall be continually tested until balance changes. Gallowain celebrates the strength of the victor, and the prowess of the well-fed predator. But above all, the clever hound celebrates the transformative nature of strength. Gallowain's great desire for us is that prey becomes predator, mewling babes grow into strong hunters, and the lost find their own enlightenment. This philosophy is best exemplified by the rites of the Emafatha of Irglenfath. When one of the Glenfathan spiritual leaders is old and nearing death, it is customary to enter the woods and confront Gallowain's herald. If the seeker god finds that Amenfath's life, deeds, and soul worthy, the reward is a quick death and his soul joins Gallowain's pack. If deemed unworthy, the Amenfath is killed, his soul forced to find its own way to the next life, and his memory erased from the records of the tribe. Survival begins with strength from within, and weak leaders endanger the whole pack. This is Gallowain at his purest. Even at the end of life, one must struggle for worthiness, for greatness, just as one must struggle every day to feed his pack. The Seeker God is easy to understand if one actively engages in the quest for knowledge, but his secrets are self-occluding, and those who merely ask, desiring knowledge, without the requisite hunt. My own flesh and blood once asked me, "Will learning to hunt please, Galawain?" I told him yes, but added, "Galawain would prefer that you hunt to learn." Cool beans. Let's go see if we can open this thing up. Pray to Galawain. Alright. Survival begins with strength from within. The air around you stirs and a gust of warm wind blows across the back of your neck. You catch the faintest smell of wet earth. As you kneel in front of the shrine, you feel yourself pushed forward. You catch yourself on your hands and knees, feeling warm, damp ground beneath them. Looking around, you find yourself crouched in a clearing in the middle of the woods. The smell of dirt hangs heavy in the air. Behind you is a darkened room filled with candlelit shrines. Ahead you can hear the howl of some kind of hound. You feel certain this is a vision, but the hairs on the nape of your neck still rise. I'm gonna howl back. The beasts bay in response, its voice high and clear. The thick undergrowth shivers with movement, and heavy paws pound the wet grass. You're not certain if the creature is hunting or leading you, but you instinctively give chase. As you tumble through the dew-specked bushes and clawing brambles, each stride feels longer than the last. You draw lungfuls of crisp, clear air and feel your energy renewed. The rhythm of your stride and the thumping of the beast's paws drive blood thrumming into your ears. You speed ahead, following the hound's cries, when a split-finger pine crashes to the ground in front of you. A massive bear lunges into the gap and roars. It catches sight of you. You turn and race in the opposite direction, leaping over the fallen tree trunk. Pine cones crunch underfoot. The bear lumbers after you. Its hot breath washes over the back of your neck, filling your nose with the rank odor of slaughter. You see a clearing just past the thicket of broad leaves and sprint towards it. As you break through the foliage, you see a massive lioness curled in the clearing in front of you. With a last burst of energy, you divert your momentum and hurl yourself into the bushes. Any second now you expect to feel the bear fall upon you, but a furious roar on the other side of the clearing draws your attention. The bear has stopped at the tree line. It swipes the empty air with claws large enough to rend armor, but does not advance. The lioness, for her part, twists her body into a tight coil. She growls, her ears pressed against her head, but she makes no move to attack the intruder. You back deeper into the foliage, keeping your eyes on the two mighty predators. As you crawl backwards, the heel of your hand brushes something furred. A warm sigh grazes your cheek. You freeze in place, slowly turning your head to see what waits behind you. Two amber eyes shine in the darkness. The eyes meet your gaze, briefly, then turn to the standoff in the clearing. The hound behind you yawns, fangs flashing. When you turn back, the lion and the bear have disappeared. In their place is a stone wolf's maw, gaping wide enough to swallow you whole. Beyond it is the outline of a temple, towering but indistinct. Blood must feed the maw watcher. See that a true champion reigns. And that is our first quest. This quest was actually bugged for me in my original playthrough of the game, so hopefully I will be able to do it now. We'll find out, I guess. So, like always, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.